My name's Steve Hayes, I'm an ex-police officer. I've written a couple of books on the subject of police culture and fabrication and what have you. And I was just looking at these figures here, and really I'd just like to say, all of us here should be very worried if you actually believe those figures.
Well, the thing we need to say about figures, if you have studied it, well, crime is coming down across the whole of North America and the whole of Europe. It's not some Manchester miracle.
Well, it's not coming down in Manchester, that is a fact.
Okay.
There's a select committee sitting this afternoon while we're here, discussing the fabrication of police detection rates and crime figures, and that is a typical example. Do you know you can get a pizza quicker than a police officer in Stockport? That's it. People have stopped reporting crime. Is it? People have stopped reporting crime. They're fed up. They're being treated like fools. They report a burglary, it's put down as a damage. They report a damage, it's put down as a self-inflicted something or other. Really, what I'd like to ask is, I'd like to ask Mr. Lloyd, have you ever examined how these figures are put together?
No.
Other than them presenting you with a file and saying, here we are, aren't we clever? Because I remember you in the evening news saying what a great job your police force is doing.
Okay, Rob, you go first.
It's my responsibility to put in the figures when I presented them, give a historical context to recorded crime. Recorded crime.
No, I don't need all that. Because I know
Well, can you excuse me? You've asked your question. We're attempting.
Yeah, can Tony answer? We're interested in Tony's answer,
Well,
please.
you'll get that after Rob's just given the context.
Rob is just going to give a load of police waffle.
No, then you've got to get Tony's answer.
We've seen it.
Will you please just give way? Please give way.
Yeah, we fell asleep in his presentation, we don't want to fall asleep again.
Well, just bear with us. Rob.
I accept, and when I presented it, this is recorded crime. Now that relies upon people being confident to report crime to police, and it relies on whichever force are recording the crimes to abide by what we call national crime recording standards. It's a big area of work and an area that's subject to inspection. But I wouldn't for 1 second say that we put a great deal of store in these figures. We know there are other sources of information in terms of crime statistics. The British Crime Survey being just one of them. But in spite of that, we look at other areas such as confidence around policing, confidence that police and the council working together at tackling the things that matter to communities. I don't think I glossed, I didn't put a big kind of emphasis on this in the presentation. I give it because it's a historical context and because some areas of crime are going up now, and I think it's important to say that recorded crime historically has tended to go down. You are quite right that the picture is far more complex than that. I absolutely accept that. Crime statistics, as are recorded by the police, are a part of the picture, but very much only a part of the picture. People's confidence is important.
Tony. No, you want an answer from Tony, you're going to get it.
Yeah, well, I just want to know what you've done to examine the fact that they can both...
Well, he's going to answer that.
These figures, as you're probably aware, are independently audited for one. But look, I think most people who have any view at all know that recorded crime is not an accurate reflection of crime. We know this. British Crime Survey, which takes a very different approach, that samples people, comes up with different numbers, and we know that for one good reason, significant types of crime are not reported by the public at all. Whether that's lack of confidence, whether it's for other reasons, we know that there's underreporting of things like domestic violence. We know that rapes are massively underreported crime. We know certain types of acquisitive crime are underreported. So we know that this isn't an absolute picture. What it does do, though, if used in conjunction with other sources, is an indication of direction. And actually where Sir Peter Fahey is absolutely right, is that crime has been dropping across North America, across huge parts of Europe, not whether you like to not, this is true. That's not to say, therefore, that we say everything's okay because those figures there.
You
I mean,
are doing.
well, I don't think I'm doing so.
I'm sorry, with the
It's actually answered the question.
You are.
If Yorkshire Police can't complain here, what are you bringing North American figures instead?
I wasn't bringing North American figures.
Well said.
I mean, let's face it, you use the finger victims.
Yeah, I wasn't bringing North American figures. I'm making the general point that crime is still possible. But the worrying thing for me, actually, is that crime doesn't continue. In any case, the reality is this. It doesn't really matter in one sense whether the crime is falling. For anybody who's been a victim of a crime, that's absolute. It really is absolute. And that's where policing has got to respond to both the victim and I think it's like making the points about protecting vulnerable people. Victims of crime are just that, they become vulnerable at that time. We want, and we've got to build a strong culture of looking after victims of crime. The police and society can't actually guarantee to solve every crime. That never has been the case. Not when you research.
No, that's not a criticism.
No. But what we have to do is make sure that the victim's journey is the best possible. But of course, in the end, the real answer is to reduce crime. And actually, there are some things that are reducing crime in our community. Some things because of technology. Some things that about social change. The big worry, if you really want to, is that there's some types of crime that we're only in the foothills of seeing grow, and that's things like cybercrime. And that's going to make a very
No.
Well,
Just
yes.
one line I'm going to sit down. I think your heart's in the right place, but I think they're presenting these figures to you and you're believing them without examining them. What I suggest you have done is you check the 999 log, see what the person reports that crime as when they first report it initially, and follow it through the system and see how it ends up, because all these burglaries will not be burglaries when they're finished at the other end.
I understand the argument, and if you like, I know that there's a recent survey of the Kent Police, which found that the
Oh, they're lots of gold, aren't they?
yeah, exactly what you described was a real issue. And obviously, with those things that we've got to look at, there are lots of challenges within Greater Manchester Police, and I accept how crime is reported is a generally real issue. But let me assure you, I'm glad you hit the heart in the right place. My own head will be as well, so we'll carry on.
I don't think it's been allowed to be. Thank you.
Gentleman here.